What do city planners and growth experts think Parrish, Florida will look like 10 years from now in 2035? That's what we're talking about today. So when we moved here from Colorado, to Parrish, Florida, a little over 10 years ago, my first impression of Parrish was...
You put your shoulder into her and you push.
And
they fall over.
Yeah, a little too country for me.
I'm a little bit country.
But I knew as a real estate professional that the somewhat sleepy town of Parrish would eventually, wake up. And because there was still a lot back then of undeveloped land here, I knew that Parrish was going to grow into something that was more like the Lakewood Ranch area. Now, many of us say here, please don't Lakewood Ranch our Parrish, and I get it. And now I can tell you, boy, I did not expect Parrish to explode as quickly as it did in the past 10 to 11 years. But here we are, and wow, those of you that know it, it sure has changed. So population-wise, back in 2014, the Parrish zip code, which is 34219, had approximately 19,600 people. Now, as of 2025, the estimated population has grown to 48,800 people. This represents, you guys, a significant increase of about 149% over 11 years. And of course, that highlights Parrish's rapid development and of course, its appeal as a residential area. So why didn't I choose Lakewood Ranch 10 years ago when we moved here? So as we were looking around and checking out where we would live in Lakewood Ranch, we also checked out some of the other areas like Parrish, Florida. And again, Parrish to me was like Cowville. I don't have anything against cows. I like cows. As a matter of fact, I want to see us keep some cows in Parrish. But back in the day, 10 years ago, Lakewood Ranch just seemed to be where I would want to live. But as we were looking around trying to find the right floor plan, the right builder, the right community, I realized I could get the same house that I wanted from the same builder that was building in Lakewood Ranch for a lot less money in Parrish. So I shifted from my buyer hat to my realtor hat, and I realized, listen, Parrish has a lot of undeveloped land, so guess where most of the new amenities, guess where all of the new construction is going to go on, guess where all the growth is going to take place, and yes, I chose Parrish. And it has been, well, that's been true. It's really come into its own, so to speak, and now the values are really great here, and it's going to continue to grow, which is why I wanted to share with you what's going on right now in Parrish, and really what it's projected to be if you're thinking about Parrish, maybe as your next new home. So let's dive into what the experts, city planners, growth planners are saying about Parrish for the next 10 years. Now, currently, Parrish, Florida 34219 has an estimated 11,069 housing units already in place. But despite our existing housing supply, our slowing market, we've been talking about how it's been slowing. There's more housing inventory for sale, and of course, thousands more being built and proposed to be built. Despite this big expansion going on here in Parrish, projections by growth experts indicate, guess what? A continued housing demand and an estimated shortfall, believe it or not, of 4,815 units by 2030. Is that crazy or what? A shortfall of houses. We'll see if that comes to pass. Now, Parrishes continue to be a place where people want to move because, of course, like I said before, there's still land here to develop, unlike what you have in Bradenton and Sarasota west of I-75. And because Parrish is cheaper than Lakewood Ranch and all of the new communities being built east of I-75 down in Sarasota. So Parrish is very popular at the moment and probably will continue to be because it's more affordable-ish. So what are the experts and the county and the state growth officials saying about the future of our little town right here in Parrish, Florida? So they are saying that in the next decade, Parrish, Florida is poised to transform from a quiet rural community into a dynamic suburban hub. And of course, we've already been seeing that. And of course, this growth is driven by significant residential. If you live here, you know what I'm talking about. More commercial and infrastructure developments. So we finally have new retail here in Parrish, Florida. It's a big deal. We're finally getting more amenities like our Creekside Commons, where we have a Lowe's, we have a new Home Goods, we have a Marshall's, lots of little shops. And thank God, more eateries, more restaurants. We're finally seeing some coffee shops. We have more fast food. Now, I don't care about fast food. I don't like it. We're seeing more banks and, of course, more Publix on every single corner, it seems like. And yes, there's rumors of a Walmart and a Home Depot and drugstores and that sort of thing. Even hotels coming over on Moccasin Wall. And you'll all be so excited. Yeah, we're going to be getting our own Chick-fil-A off of Moccasin Wall Road. So that makes everybody so freaking happy. Now, we have new schools. We have a new Parrish Community High School. We have a new junior high opening in North River Ranch this year. And of course, we have the State College of Florida being built right here by the high school. And of course, we have new roads and infrastructure. And of course, you guys, this is big news. So the Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously recently to purchase a 93-acre property along Golf Course Road and Gamble Creek in Parrish, right down the road from me. And they're going to use this property for storm water improvement, flood water mitigation, and of course, future road widening and a much, much needed bridge replacement right there at that Gamble Creek. It is so needed, everybody. So if you watch this video right here that I made about Hurricane Debbie last fall, you'll probably remember that little stretch of road that I showed you, just 3 minutes from my house, like Jim Davis and Golf Course Road, and that road flooded. And because it was flooded, it was closed for several days. Along with that section of road that was flooded, there were a lot of properties, mostly acreage properties, that are located in that area, and they were really flooded too. Now, they were already in what they call a 100-year flood zone area, but they had significant flooding. And it was so awful for those homeowners. It's something that they had never seen. Of course, Milton hadn't been around for 100 years, right? But a lot of those homeowners, they just experienced just such waste there and loss of their property. Now, again, I want you to watch that video because most of the newer home communities, well, those builders had already elevated the land, so homeowners didn't have flooding. They did not have flooding. And of course, that was good for most of us. We didn't have any flooding. We had no flooding at all, but just down the road in those properties, it was pretty bad. So the homeowners of those lower lying properties, they felt like that the flooding they experienced wouldn't have been so catastrophic if the developers of all the new construction communities, and there's so many going on around here, had done their job to mitigate the possibility of that kind of flooding. And of course, rerouting the storm water, and of course, taking down all the trees and the vegetation, and not having adequate drainage. Now, if you're on Golf Course Road, as those of us that live off of Golf Course Road, they're putting in all kinds of new drainage now. And I understand exactly what these homeowners felt because what they're thinking about the development here, it makes total sense. It really could have, and probably did, lend to so much of that catastrophic flooding for their properties. Now, this new stormwater park is said to provide about 300 acre-feet of flood storage as part of the $9.5 million land purchase. Kudos to whoever sold that land. Not so bad.
By the way, Manatee County also approving a $9.5 million purchase of 95 wetland acres near Gamble Creek, all to help reduce the flooding.
If you're like me, you're wondering, what the heck is an acre foot?
What?
What?
So, of course, I had to look it up because I had no clue. But an acre foot is the volume of water needed to cover 1 acre of land to a depth of 1 foot. And this new stormwater park, they say that they're going to keep the natural habitats maintained and managed to support the wildlife. We have a lot of wildlife here. And of course, passive recreational activities on the property. Now, we'll wait and see what all of that means. And we really are praying that this will help with some of the water issues. We also have new public attractions like the Sierra Lagoon. And if you want to know more about the Sierra Lagoon and the Sierra Lagoon community, watch this video here. Basically, it's a 4.5-acre public lagoon that's going to attract families and vacationers, maybe that don't always want to go to the beach. They just want a big lagoon. They're going to have all kinds of things there to do. We also have our new Parrish Community Park. Phase 1 is now open. I'm making a video about it now. We just took our grandgirls there. They came out here to visit from Colorado. And that place, they did an amazing job. So you got to check that park out. Now, some of this expansion has been very needed. And some of it has been very controversial. Why has it been controversial? Well, we're going to talk about that on another video so that you can be kind of like a fly on the wall inside of the good, the bad, and the ugly of this rapid growth in Parrish, Florida. So you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can be alerted when that video is available. Of course, many other videos that introduce to you the markets here in Manatee and Sarasota counties and the surrounding counties, all of the communities, the amenities we have, the lifestyles of our areas, and all things real estate. So here's an overview of what growth experts are saying Parrish, Florida might look like in 2035, 10 years from now. Residential expansion. Well, yeah, we kind of get that. We're seeing it every day, those of us that live here. We've already talked about the Sierra Lagoon community. That is being developed by Metro Development, Metro Places Group. It is a 640-acre master plan community, and they're thinking they're going to feature about 3,000 homes centered around that 4.5-acre man-made lagoon. It's going to attract people from all over. The amenities at that lagoon, of course, there's a swim-up bar and all kinds of swimming areas. They're going to have fitness classes. And of course, it is public access to the lagoon also for the people that live in the community because they want to offer kind of a resort-style living experience. Then we have a new community called Resale Ranch in the works right now. It also is an expansive new master plan community located sort of at the intersection of Rutland and Rye Roads. Now, they've planned about 3,500 homes that are going to be built there, and they're going to include single-family townhomes and villas, and it's being developed by Lennar developers. Now, Lennar is going to kind of dole out a few homes to be built there, what they're saying, by the Coulter Group and, of course, D.R. Horton. Now, Lennar will likely offer a range of housing types to cater to all kinds of buyers, and they want to feature 11 amenity centers. I guess they need that for that many houses. That's a lot, though. They also have proposed a new elementary school to be built in there, and people, they're going to need it. And they want to create kind of a community geared towards convenience, education, and, of course, recreation. There's a new 55 Del Webb called Sun Chase that's coming. I believe it's going to be located out in that State Road 62 area. And of course, it's like the one at Bayview, Del Webb. It's for 55 and up. They're going to have about 1,000 homes on 427 acres. And of course, they're going to offer the usual pickleball and a great pool and a community garden and walking trails. And of course, they're catering to active adults, not you inactive adults, but active adults.
5, 6, 7, double touch.
There's also the Oakfield community, Oakfield Trails, Oakfield Lakes. There's about 1,900 acres. Again, a master plan development. They're going to have single family homes, townhomes, and they're going to offer some multifamily options, which I think is really good because we actually need some more apartments. And they're going to emphasize connectivity with, nature, multi-use trails, parks, lakes, and they're going to want to have some community hubs. So that's going to be a huge development. There's also Abrazo at Robinson Gateway. This is an interesting concept. These are build to rent communities. There's going to be 258 detached homes. They're going to have their own private backyards, and they're going to offer smart home features for those of you that aren't ready to buy yet, but you want to rent something really nice. Well, that's located in the 288-acre Robinson Gateway development right there at about I-75 and exit 229. And it's going to include retail, office space, hotel spaces for that lagoon, as well as our first planned daycare hospital. And then there's also another community that's slated called Green Bull. Green Bull is going to have about 531 single-family homes on 179 acres, and that's going to be near the Parrish Community High School. Now, what do you think about a community called Green Bull? I'd love to hear your comments. Well, Green Bull? I don't know. North River Ranch, as you know, is already a master plan community with ongoing expansions. Right now, they have new communities like Longmeadow. Wildleaf is still being built. Crescent Creek. There's a new one called Highview. There's a new junior high in that community that opens this year. And of course, that is going to be the new HCA hospital, another hospital, and the soon to be built Parrish Village Center with shops and everything, just like Lakewood Ranch Main Street. So it's supposed to be really nice. On Buckeye, there's a new community called Firethorn. That's Taylor Morrison. They're going to have townhomes and single-family homes, kind of like Artisan Lakes, Eves Bend over in Palmetto, and that is slated to open sometime this year. I was just over there a day ago, and they've already started the model homes over in Firethorn, the Taylor Morrison homes. You know, they build great homes too, so that's going to be a great area for people to check out. But if you want to live in Firethorn, you can also buy a townhome if you want. So that's something to check out. And then, of course, let's not forget the resale homes that we have here in beautiful Parrish, Florida. And I always tell people, don't discount resale homes. They're a great option. And remember, you don't have to worry as much about resale homes now because Hurricane Milton that came through last fall, a lot of people had to get new roofs. So that is going to help your homeowner's insurance. That's a real big plus. And remember, resale homes are typically located in communities that, number one, not all resale homes, but a lot of the resale homes, they're communities that are done already. You don't have to live in construction, ongoing construction like you do in new construction. Some of those communities in new construction, they're 5 years, 7 years, 10 years out. So if you want to live in that for the next 10 years, whatevs. But I do really recommend that you check out resales. There's also more space between some of the resale homes. The lush foliage, you know, they're more mature neighborhoods. The trees look nicer. They're really kind of more of a quintessential Florida neighborhood because they've already grown in. Everything's finished there. So it's something to think about, and I always recommend you look at resales. So if you are a seller of resale home right now, listen, make sure you find you an agent who is really letting people know the advantages of a resale home in a community that's already finished, because there are some advantages. And I know that sellers are able to offer seller concessions now, just like the big builders. And sometimes resale homes are built better. They're not thrown up as quick. I'm just saying. Growth experts are also saying we're going to see great healthcare developments, and we really need it. Now, like I said, we have the Baycare Hospital that's scheduled to open in 2027. It's a 154-bed hospital. It's really going to be the first hospital north of the Manatee River. We're all excited about that. Not that we want to go to the hospital, but at least we have one close by. And that's going to be at I-75 and exit 229. And of course, in North River Ranch, there's supposed to be the HCA hospital. They've already started on the emergency room. It looks pretty close to being done. And of course, that's at Fort Hamer and Moccasin Wallow. Now, whether that's going to be a hospital or just 2 emergency rooms, we were told it's going to be a hospital. That's what they've been saying. There's a lot of development still happening in that area. But guys, I'm going to tell you right now, we really needed some healthcare here. We did have some doctors already. We had some dentists, some veterinarians, that sort of thing. But to add more is so needed, of course, with all of the people. And a lot of us were having to go into Bradenton or Sarasota, even to Lakewood Ranch, to find specialists. I go to a gastroenterologist for ulcerative colitis, and mine is in Lakewood Ranch. And I love her, and I probably will continue to go there. But for the most part, to have these medical facilities, even over in North River Ranch near that HCA hospital, there's going to be an assisted living. There's going to be more doctors, just like Lakewood Ranch, where there's all of the medical center there, all kinds of doctors and specialists to go to. It's really going to help this community, and it's going to be very, very needed. And of course, we've already talked about experts saying infrastructure improvements are going to continue to happen. So of course, all of you that live here like me, you know all of the roads are being expanded. Moccasin Wallow is being extended from 2 lanes to 6 lanes between US 41 all the way to US 301. And I'm telling you guys, that's really good, because right now the roads are crap, that mess your car up and all that sort of thing. Now that project is also going to include sidewalks and bike lanes, and they're hoping to decrease all the traffic, give maybe some alternative methods of traffic. So if you like to rollerblade or get on your golf cart, you can do that. As we've already talked about, the infrastructure of our new community park has happened. That was over $15 million. Again, there's picnic shelters and a performance pavilion, a splash pad, a playground, providing recreational spaces and fun for date nights and families and that sort of thing. And again, the second phase is going to be a community pool and hopefully pickleball. And I would love to know, what do you think should be in the second phase of that park? I'd love to hear your comments. BMX bike riding. I know there's already a skate park coming over near the Fort Hamer bridge there at the Manatee River. God, spit it out! But if there's something you would really love to see come into one of those community parks that's being done, I'd really love to know. Please put your comments below. So for those of you that are a little older in our community here in Parrish, Florida, knowing that we're going to have more medical facilities, more doctors, more specialists, that sort of thing, I hope that gives you peace of mind to think, hey, you know, maybe we could move or retire to Parrish, Florida, because now we're not going to have to drive all the way into Sarasota or Lakewood Ranch or Tampa, God forbid. This is going to really give you access to what you need in your community. So, of course, as Parrish evolves, their aim is to kind of balance the growth that we're experiencing with the preservation of our natural areas and our historical character. And I hope that that is what they do. Again, that issue continues to have ongoing debate. So if you've seen any of our Facebook pages here, that's a big controversy. But developments are incorporating green spaces and trails and community gardens, and they're trying to maintain the area's charm while providing, of course, modern conveniences. So in summary, by 2035, Parrish is expected to emerge probably as a vibrant, it's a well-connected community. They want to offer diverse housing options. They want to give, of course, enhanced healthcare facilities, improved infrastructure, and of course, they want to give a commitment to preserving its unique identity. And we really do have a unique identity. So if you're even curious about whether or not Parrish, Florida might be the right next new hometown for you, I really encourage you to take a few days and come and visit. You need to see it for yourself. Take a look around the communities, look at the schools, look at the access to the amenities that we have, all of the new amenities coming in. Check out the outdoor and nature opportunities that we have. We're right here at the Manatee River. A lot of people don't like the beach. They like the river. And of course, when I meet with many of you from other states and even other places right here in Florida, and as we're driving around, I always make sure that I'm pointing out all of the new things coming. This is where our new shopping center is going. This is where our new school is going. This is where the new park is going. And I'd like to point those things out so that you get a better feel for where things are going to be located, what kind of commute you might have if you're still working or you need to get kids to school or whatever, just so you get a feel for whether or not Parrish appeals to you, and of course, the lifestyle that you want to build for yourself, for your family, or maybe even your retirement. And if you have any questions, and I'm sure you do, please don't hesitate to reach out either in the comments below if you want to make some comments below, or of course by email or text, or give me a phone call, because I will always take the time to chat with you and, give you the information that you need. If I don't know the information, I will find out. Many of you know we talk a lot on the phone, had some really great conversations with you guys. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really happy to speak with you. And if you want to stay connected to hearing about all of the updates on Parrish, Florida, as things are being built, and of course what's coming, then again, you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you can stay on top of, how it's changing, how it's growing, what the people are saying about it, what the complaints are. Again, we're going to make a video about what the biggest complaints are right now. The prices of homes here in Parrish, Florida. Because although I know, listen, Parrish is not going to be for everybody, but I really believe it's worth you checking out. I'm Catherine Newman. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe. I will see you next week. See you then.